Hello, everyone. My name is Austin, and the title says it all. Um, I do not know where to take my podcast. And honestly, it is at a critical point where it might shut down, all because of this one situation. So, before I explain everything, I want to talk and I want to, at least mention this to the person watching, Damien. So, yeah, Damien. In case you're watching this, man, I just wanted to say that today, right, as of December 21st, 2023, uh, yeah, that conversation we had this morning was a really good conversation, and honestly, it was going to be the best episode. It was going to be the best episode I think we had up to date. Yeah. So, but it was going to be the best episode, but the file got corrupted. The file got corrupted, and the video. I don't know what happened to the video. My USBs got corrupted, and everything just fucked up. So would have been the best video, but now there's no video to show of it. And I am so sorry. I am extremely sorry. Um, I personally thought that I had such a great time. And even if we were not doing content creation, I had such a great time talking to you today. So, I mean, yeah, that's how I feel. I don't know how you feel about it, but just know that I had a really good time. And personally, um, as a friend, I had a good time. But as a content creator, I have mixed feelings about today, and I just want to talk about that. So, to the rest of you guys that are watching this video, you may be wondering, what the hell happened? What's going on? Can you please explain? And I will explain right now. So, I'll explain everything. So, to the very beginning of the podcast, right before it started, or right around the beginning, I made a setup tour, right? A setup tour, a tour of the studio room that I was renting out to do my podcast in, the MYTC show, right? And if you go in that video, you see that there's this recording box. It's like this Effian video Paramount thing, whatever the fuck it's called. But basically, it is a $5,000-ish, $6,000-ish. I don't know. I looked it up online. It's a very expensive video recorder, video encoder that it's like OBS, but like hardware and more professional and all of that good stuff. If I were to put it in a more simplified way, right? And how it would work, how it worked was, in that setup tour, I explained that there was this interface, right? This little screen. And I'm not sure if I mentioned exactly how that screen worked, but just in case I didn't, there's a screen where if there's a screen that's next to this, I guess, recorder that I mentioned earlier. And basically, it's very simple. It's very basic. You press on the record button, and this video encoder, right, this video box that records the videos, it will record the video, right? And as soon as you press stop on this interface, the video box stops. And once this, video box has finished the entire recording, it shows you the file on its display, right? It has a display, and it will tell you how many recordings you did, right? So how many files you have, the size of those files, and it will tell you to put in a USB. And so why do you need a USB, you may ask? You put in this USB so that way it can transfer its video file onto your USB. Simple enough, right? Simple enough, even an average Joe can do it. All right. And so then after that, after you have your video file onto your USB, you would put it into the PC that was right under it, which I believe I showed it in that studio tour, but I could be mistaken. But either way, there is this PC that is under the video box, and you plug it in, and bam, you open your flash drive, right where the file explorer is. You click on it. Oh my God, there's the video. You click on the video, it plays. And okay, that's how you know the video works, right? And yeah, so that is the usual setup. That is the usual setup for most podcast recordings. And of course, you've seen the podcast, right? We sit on those chairs, me and a guest typically, and in this case, Damien, before this fucking file corrupted. And we did our recording. It went pretty well, and it was such a great episode that honestly, it could have been the best episode we've recorded so far, in my opinion. But huge but. We had some issues with the video recorder, right? The video encoder box thing. So, okay. So what did I explain earlier, right? So, interface. Interface controls the record. You press on the interface, it records, and the video box, the video encoder, it records. You press stop on the interface, and it stops, right? Stops. You got the file in the video recorder. You plug in the USB, and it transfers to the USB. This is where the issue arises. So, it was working fine, right? It's like videos in queue, right? So, the files were transferring to the USB. And I've started, okay, I will not lie. I've had my suspicions with this video encoder box a long time ago, back to episode, I believe, 6 with Anthony, and 7 with Kalai, I think it worked fine. But episode 6, I had trouble with this. I'm not going to bring it up now, but it was already acting wacky. Let's say, yeah, back to episode 6, like a while back. It was already a little wonky, but that's not the point. The point is that it was in queue, right? Okay, it's transferring. And, okay, let me tell you the typical, I guess, estimated time process, right? So, typically, our podcast episodes are about 2.5 gigabytes to 2.8 gigabytes. And it typically takes about 5 to 6 minutes for it to, it takes about 5 to 6 minutes to get a 2.5 to 2.8 gigabyte video onto this USB, right? So that's the typical process. I told you how this video records, right? How the box records, and how it transfers to the USB. You plug it in. And yeah, it takes you about 5 to 6 minutes typically. So today, me and Damien, we recorded a 3.2 gigabyte video, right? A 3.2 gigabyte video that, all right, is pretty long, which meant it was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it. It was super fun, super cool. It was awesome. It was fucking cool. And it was good. I was like, all right. So I plugged this shit in. All right, I plugged the USB in, right? So, we just finished. We finished recording. We hit stop on the interface, as I explained. And yeah, the video box says that we have 3.2 gigabytes, of this one video, right? One video, 3.2 gigabytes. That's fair. We recorded for a pretty long time, actually. All right, fair enough. I plug in this USB, hoping that it would record, right? That it would not record, transfer. I was hoping that, all right, it's going to transfer. It's going to be all right. It's going to do well, right? It's going to do well. And, it did say, yeah, it recognized my USB. Okay, so, yeah. So it's in queue, was ready to transfer, and it was transferring in quotations, air quotations, because I'm being sarcastic here. It was transferring right? It was doing its job, right? As it should. As it should. And, I was just waiting, of course. 3.2 gigabytes, so at most it would take 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes, 15 minutes max. I waited so fucking long. I think I waited 20 minutes plus. At the very least, 20 minutes plus. So over 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, 3.2 gigabytes, it should not be this bad. But for some reason, it just could not upload, right? Upload to this USB drive. But it still says it's in queue. It says it's still transferring. So, I mean, I'm not really sure how to describe this without a visual representation, but I will give my best, right? Typically, it tells you, okay, let's say, for example, 2.5, 2.8 gigabytes. And it's transferring. So it's going to be like, oh, it's in queue. And until it hits 0 files, 0 gigabytes in queue, that's when you know it's finished, right? That's when you know it's finished. So that's how I knew it finished, right? Right? Okay. So we're on the same page. So 3.2 gigabytes in queue, 1 file. And I waited there for 20 minutes at least. And it's just nothing. Nothing. Now here is where I bring back to this is where I recall to episode 6. Something I did not mention was that in the past, when this machine was wonky, and the reason why, I had a similar issue, right? I had a similar issue in episode 6 with the recording, and it turned out, right? The reason why I was waiting so long for this, I guess, video to transfer onto the USB, right? The reason why I was taking so long, right? Was because apparently whenever I plugged the USB into the video encoder box, it just did not recognize it until I had to fucking I guess what's the correct word for it? Insert it more into the box, because I guess it was loosely inserted. Fair enough. So I loosely inserted it, and of course it recognized the USB, and it continued to transfer into the USB, right? It transferred into the USB. And of course, okay, I'm thinking, all right. So now we're back to the latest episode. Before it was corrupted, I was sitting there waiting for this video to transfer, and I was like, all right, perhaps it's the same issue as last time. Perhaps it was the same issue. Nope. The USB is recognized. Nope. Nothing is wrong. Everything is going fine. But you know how I know it's wrong? First, the time waiting for this thing was way too long. I could have been there in an hour, and it would have not, what is it? It would have not, fucking transferred over to the USB. So you may be wondering, so is it the USB then? If it's not the machine, if the machine can recognize the USB, right? If the machine can recognize the USB, then maybe it's the USB's fault. And no, it's not the USB's fault, because either the space I was using was lying to me, or it's the machine's fault, because the place that I was going to, aka the university's studio room, all that people could just use if you just book it, right? They said that this machine is best used with a NFTS formatted USB drive that is 3.2, right? A 3.2 USB drive, USB thumbstick that is formatted NFTS to hold large videos. And for many episodes, this USB drive had nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Right? Nothing wrong with it. Alright. So yeah, it was not the USB. But anyway, the USB is recognized, but the wait time is ridiculously long. And here is the best part. So, how I mentioned earlier in the video, right? I mentioned, okay, how do you know that it's done transferring, right? This video is done transferring. Well, it's when it says, oh, 0 videos, 0 gigabytes in queue. It's finished, right? The file transfer is complete because there's nothing on the box. Okay, so it was okay. So we waited for like 20 minutes ish. 3.2 gigabytes in queue. All that good stuff. And then it would occasionally flash, right? That part in the display of the box, it would occasionally flash. It could not. This video cannot be uploaded. This video cannot be uploaded. And then it would just go back to saying 3.2 gigabytes in queue. And I was like, the fuck? I was like, the fuck? You know what I mean? This is like crazy. This is what? I was like, how? I was like, okay. That's all right. I'm like, okay. Like maybe I'm seeing things, right? Maybe I'm seeing things. I'll leave it in there. And it's transferring, right? It's 3.2 gigabytes. As always, it hasn't fucking transferred at all. And, you know, it says, oh, cannot upload every once in a while. And I'm like, okay, something is definitely wrong. Something is definitely wrong, right? Something is definitely wrong. So, it says 3.2 gigabytes, right? Which means that's the video size. That is the video size. It probably, and also I saw that error warning, right? Error warning. It was like, hey, this like, you know, it was like this video, you know, it's not uploading, all that good stuff, right? I was like, all right. If it hasn't uploaded, if the file is still there in the box, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to remove my USB, right? Apparently the file has not been touched, right? The error. So based on the information that I'm going to give you, right? Based on the information I'm going to give you, you can conclude, right? That, okay, so the file says, right? The file is still intact, right? 3.2 gigabytes, it has not moved down to 0, even once. Not even once. It didn't even do 3.1, 2.5. It didn't go down like that either. No, it just fucking stayed 3.2 the entire time. And, you know, it goes 3.2 the entire time. And the second thing is, fuck, I'm losing my train of thought because of how angry and upset I am right now. I am so sorry. But, all right, so if it's not touched, right, if the data's not been transferring, if it's not transferring, and it says it's not uploaded, right, that there's an error that it cannot be uploaded, that somehow this video cannot be uploaded onto my drive, and my drive is readable, right, this encoder box can read my drive, and my drive meets all the requirements for the system. Right, that my drive meets all the requirements of this system. For some reason, it can't upload, and it's trying to upload, but it can't. And all the file size is still intact. So, what's the most reasonable explanation here? Well, I should have okay. The correct answer is I should have just fucking asked for help, but I mean, come on. Surely it wasn't a big deal at the time. I was like, I could probably just ask the staff for another USB. All right. So I asked the staff for another USB with this conclusion in mind. I was like, all right, it's not transferred. Nothing happened. But anyway, just in case, I want to see what happened to this USB. It turns out the file was corrupted. The fucking USB was corrupted. I was like, what the fuck? It turns out it was transferring? But then why did the display say it wasn't transferring? Fucking ridiculous. And also, the reason why what is it? The reason why I did not ask the staff, in case anybody was wondering, was because the people that were hired there, they did not seem to know a lot about like the machine itself. Like for example, whenever I would go in there sometimes to record a video or a podcast, there would be someone else's video that is stuck in the machine, and nobody would have a clue on how to get rid of it without just sending that video file into another USB and clearing it off of the USB. So that's how you would get rid of it, but no way of clearing a video inside the video encoder. Or if there is an option, you know what I mean? If there isn't an option, that's fine. That's fair enough. But, they did not know whether there was an option or not. So even the staff barely knew. Yeah. So, I mean, no disrespect to the staff. I think they're really cool people. And what I mean by the staff is just the people that, help me, I guess, reserve this room, I guess, for the podcast. But like, yeah, the tech staff, more or less, they were on the same level as me. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't mean to be rude or anything, but they were on the same level as me. That's why I didn't ask, I guess. And you could go up that chain, I suppose, but you could go up that chain of like, why don't you ask the director? Why don't you ask the fucking president? But at that point, right? At that point, there should just be an FAQ fucking notebook in the studio room, right? If you're gonna start like, why don't you ask the next best guy? Or if the staff are at the same tech level as you, pretty much, and they can't figure out simple stuff as like, deleting fucking old videos that are stuck in the video recorder, then like if you keep asking that, like at that point it's just like, why even bother? Right? Why even bother at that point? You might as well just do it yourself. So that's what I did. But anyway, I don't know why I'm trying to justify anything here. The point is, I went to grab another USB. I went to grab another USB, and I went to grab another USB, plugged this thing in. I plugged this thing into the video box. Wow. It starts dumping. It starts dumping like the video box dumps all of the what is it? All of the video, right? All of the video onto the USB. Wow, it's so cool. It's like 14 gigabytes. It was a 14 gigabyte drive, and you insert it, and yeah, it was going down, right? So it was like, all right, so it used up, yeah, so it was like 14 gigabytes. Like you could read the size of your drive, right? It said 14 gigabytes. And yeah, this is a drive that I bought from someone else, by the way. That's why I'm saying 14. And it went down to 11. I was like, oh shit, it's working. You know what I mean? It's working. Oh my god. But that number, 3.2 gigabytes left in queue. How did you just dump 3 gigabytes from the video fucking recorder? Right? From the video recorder onto the drive. You dump 3 gigabytes right away, but yet it still says 3.2 gigabytes left in queue. And I was like, this is fucking weird. This is fucking this thing is fucked up. Like this thing is high on meth right now. If robots could be drinking meth, it probably is on meth. So, I left it in for another 10, 15 minutes. It's like, all right, it's surely it'll probably get up. Nothing happened. I was on shorts the entire time. So, time went by pretty fast, all things considered. And then, yeah, time went by. Nothing happened. Just 3.2 gigabytes of queue. I was like, you know what? I'll rip it. Video was gone. And I put this in. I put the video. I was like, video's gone, right? So zero gigabytes in 0 gigabytes, right? 0 gigabytes in queue. So already something is off. It said 3.2 gigabytes earlier, and when I take it off, it said 0 gigabytes. So you tell me all of a sudden it was just done? It was just in queue until I took it off? Okay, this is fucking weird. So I put this into the PC. And the fucking USB is corrupted. The USB is corrupted. It's corrupted. It's corrupted. So at this point, I am just like, I'm done. Like I check every single way to like, fix a way to like corrupt an MP4. None of those things work. And then I just, threw the white flag, surrender. I gave up. And I returned the stuff to the staff. I explained it to them. I was like, the video stuff was corrupted, all that stuff, and they were like, did you perhaps not eject it? And I was like, no, that does not have to deal with what that does not have to do with my problem, right? That does not have to do with it. It has nothing to do with it, right? It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. And they're like, yeah, all right, we'll look into it. But, yeah, that is the story of how a really good episode became lost to time. Lost to time, baby. Lost to time. And it's because of this event that I will no longer record in that room again. Ever. In that entire studio, like, I'll never do it again. I will never do that shit again. Because there's a lot of reasons why this could have happened, right? Number one, my incompetence. The moment, right? The moment, the moment I saw something fucking weird, I should have said something. But knowing the people there, it probably wouldn't have done much help. But that being said, that should not be an excuse because I guess they could have found some guy. I guess. But what if that guy, what if that guy didn't know either? And what if the other guy doesn't know either? What if the other guy... I don't know. It could be. Because, right? Because obviously if you don't know how to operate this thing, ask another person, right? But what if that other person barely knows as much as you do? And they ask the other person and it barely knows what... And you have to reach the top of the top tech guys, like the super tech guys. But what if they're busy? What do I do with the video then? What do I do with the video then, right? So it just goes to the point where it's like, it goes to the point where it's like I feel like there is like more training to be done for future people that use it. Or there has to be like a user guide next time in the studio for whenever there's a fucking error like this. Or something. Or fucking something. Right? Or something. Because like, if I can't ask people that are close and approximate to me, that are staff there, that I don't know who the fuck to ask. And second off, I right? Like I said, I'm making all these excuses as to why I didn't ask the staff, but the truth was I probably should have asked the staff. But yeah, that was my reasoning anyway. And the like another aspect of this whole fucking train wreck was like, what the fuck happened to this fucking machine that led it to be this way? And earlier I mentioned the staff was like, oh, was the fucking USB thing? Was it the whole fucking shit? And no, it wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. Because you know why? Because the issue wasn't the PC, right? Like, oh, you didn't eject your fucking flash drive off the PC, so of course it's corrupted, asshole. I'm like, yeah, of course. That makes sense. Even I understand that. Granted, I don't eject, and it's never hurted me before. But the problem was the file transfer from the recording machine, right, to the flash drive. The PC never touched any of this. And some of you may be asking, is there a way to check if there's an eject button? Or if there is a warning thing? Or if there's a thing? Keep in mind, a lot of us, including myself, me, and a lot of the staff, seem to very know basic stuff on this machine. Only like one or two guys that I don't know where the fuck they are. Only they know how to use the entire fucking thing. Everyone else is just kind of just, I don't know, interns and shit. So they don't know anything. That's not on them, by the way. It's not on them. I'm just saying they don't know as much as I do. And I don't know much either. So, yeah. So, this error, like, none of us knew how to fix. Like, come on. But yeah, like, it's just like, yeah. God, man. God. I'm losing concentration. I am losing about how furious I am, but the point was, I lost a lot of work today. I lost a lot of awesome content. And yeah, and it's because I don't know anything about, I guess, this stupid box. And so do most people, apparently. And also, yeah, I don't know what happened to this box. I don't know what happened to it. Like, maybe there's a fucking error. I don't know. But there's two things I learned from this. Number one, never trust other people's hardware, especially a public hardware, right? Anyone can use, not private. It's not someone else's. It's a public institution's fucking studio room, right? Which means anybody could have tinkered with it. Anybody could have fucked up with it. Someone could have tweaked the settings, and it could have ruined everyone's fucking time, right? It's a public studio room, which means anything could have been tinkered with, and I would not know until the very end. I would not know, right? Mics could have been fucked up, cameras could have been fucked up. I would have not know until I got there. And in this case, the recording machine just fucking went boop. Yeah, maybe the error is it can't transfer files that are 3.5 gigabytes. But I doubt anybody would have known. It's not like there was a fucking user book available for us to use. And yeah, and this, yeah. So I'm not gonna trust that shit anymore. And like, second, it's just like I can't. Yeah, I can't trust. Like, I can't trust public stuff. I just can't. And so, moving forward, I will never be using that studio room again. I will never use that studio room again. And, yeah, I'll never, because I can't trust hardware and software that I don't know personally. Like OBS, if there is a problem with OBS, I can typically troubleshoot it because I'm pretty familiar with OBS. And this 5000 Elite machine thing that I have no idea how to fucking use, that no one taught me how to use properly, and only know how to use basic shit of it. Yeah. I'm not gonna use fucking stuff that I don't understand and stuff that is public. There you go. The 2 rules. I should never fucking use shit I don't understand and shit that is public. Public use. And those are the 2 life hard lessons I learned today. And they hit hard. And not the good kind of hard. The bad one. But yeah. Going forward, I will never, ever, ever use that studio room ever again. And honestly, this leaves the state of this leaves the state of the podcast in question. Will I do it online? Will I cancel it outright? I don't know. Will I cancel it outright? I don't know. But I'm very disappointed today, and I'm extremely upset. And I hope that everyone, including Damien, forgives me on this one. I'm sorry, guys. I should have known, and I should have been better. Whether it was my fault, the studio's fault, or anything, I don't care. I'll take responsibility and say it's my fault. And I learned a lot of important lessons, and I will not do it again. All right. Bye, everybody.